R.D. Laing, someone asked him what psychotherapy was, and he said, I make myself vulnerable and then see what happens. And the more I thought about that, I thought that was a pretty brilliant way to formulate it. I mean, it's easy to say and easy to kind of remember, but to really make oneself vulnerable to experiencing these things and then to non-defensively be honest about it, because I've had exactly the same reaction. You can have reactions of feeling overwhelmed, feeling surprising rage, or still thinking about a session, even if there's no negative affect involved. Like, why am I thinking about this so much? And to be honest about that and non-defensive, to not say, oh, well, I better, this is their fault because of this and this and this, and I better what, but to be like, what is that I'm experiencing? Because in psychic reality or emotional reality, that's a fact of experience, and to sit with that and say, well, what does that mean? I wonder if this person experienced, it's almost like with projective identification, or taking on experiencing what a client is experiencing. Sometimes I sometimes wonder if I'm not getting a dose of what it's like for them to feel. They feel that way all the time. And sometimes sitting with and being with whatever that experience in lets me see what it must be like for them to be, that's baseline. They suffer that all the time. And then how do I metabolize that, so to speak, and then reflect that back to the client? And sometimes, again, not all the time, but I think a little bit of transparency in the relationship with the client's okay. I know that there's a whole volumes of things about self-disclosure, and that's a whole nother thing. But sometimes if it's framed correctly with that person, and if it's helpful to them to say, I had this experience where I couldn't stop thinking about this one area, or I was really angry the other day after we talked. What was your experience? More often than not, that level of connectedness and honesty in the relationship has some therapeutic value, because it helps, I think, just breaking away from this medicalized, I'm the expert, unexperienced, and you're some unfortunate victim of this disease, that we all experience these things, and all have the same kind of needs of connectedness, loving, belonging. And a lot of these intense kind of experiences are really about that. It's just a basic need for love and belonging. And how do we work that out? And what does that mean? I think it all makes sense. It all has meaning to it. It's not just the product of a diseased mind or something.
Yeah, yeah, and I love it in the book where you say that, well, this is a really paraphrasing it, but like we're all distressed, you know, and of course we're on a continuum of that. It's not like our client has a diseased mind that's nothing like our experience of life, that we all have hard experiences, including us, perhaps especially as practitioners. It's what's drawn us into this work. And